and whatnot. Clairvoyant and anything esoteric out of the ordinary was not really talked about, not really pursued. When I went and traveled through Greece, I did meet a woman who did. We have this thing called reading the coffee cup. We have a very strong, thick coffee that we drink, and once we're taking our last sip, you turn it upside down, and then you let it dry, and then when you the coffee, the cup reader, she looks at it, or he looks at it. Mostly it's women. Then there's like these patterns in the coffee as it's dried, and she'll say, "Oh yes, well, you have a very high mountain to climb coming shortly." And I'm like, what is that? I have to be honest with you. When I've seen some clairvoyant readers, I think maybe I've seen 2 or 3. Wasn't very impressed, didn't give me much information, but I have had a reading with you, Trisha, and I was so impressed with the reading because it was so down to earth, and it was stuff that I can relate to, and it was very helpful. I feel that since my reading, I feel a lot better about myself because we looked at my project with the center and everything, how it looks. And, I feel so much better about it and so much more relaxed that everything is on course and that everything is okay. And I don't have to worry about it and I have to have so much fear around it and preoccupation that, things steadily and slowly will get better and better, and they are as the time goes by. So
well, that's great. Thank you for telling me that, because that's what I want to happen. And I just remembered something in this clairvoyant training that I'm giving. What we're doing is we're looking at metaphor. So beautiful. Very much like dreams give you images. And they're metaphors for situations in your life. When you're learning this type of clairvoyant training that I do with people, you're looking at certain metaphors that you get used to, and you interpret those metaphors when you speak to somebody else. So this coffee cup in Greece, she's interpreting metaphors. She's interpreting an image. That's exactly how this works. And by the end of 24 hours of training, generally most people are able to look at work, relationship, and to a certain degree health issues.
Okay.
And those basic territories when they're doing a clairvoyant reading for somebody else.
So basically see images and be able to interpret what they see.
Now this of course takes time to get really quick at, and yet it's that people I've seen some pretty amazing results with people doing that very, very quickly. Especially people who are interested in dreams and dream metaphor and, that kind of thing. It's very connected to that.
It's true. We're all fascinated by our dreams. We wake up in the morning and think, what was that dream? Running naked in the alley. I mean, what is that?
I know.
And so, I think it's important that we do recognize, like you said, that it is a metaphor. It's not something real that's going to happen to us or has happened to us. That what does it mean that what were these visions, these images that we're seeing, and how could we interpret them to help us, to guide us through our life? Yeah, I would like to do a little quick station ID, CIDI 99.1 FM. You're listening to The Alternatives. You have choices. Your host, Ilya Kavukis, brought to you by the Sunshine Center. And my fabulous guest for the second time is Trisha Pope, who is recently moved to Sudden to share all her wonderful bags of tricks with us and help us become more and more attuned to ourselves through our sixth sense, through our intuition, and through sound healing. I just want to remind you, listeners, that we'll be doing with Trisha a sound circle on Monday evenings. She's a wonderful choir director as well, so we're looking for people who would like to come and be part of the choir and the sound circle. No experience necessary. And if you want some more information on that, go to the sunshinecenter.ca for more information. Is our website, and trishapope.com is Trisha's website. So, Trisha, what else would you like to tell us about your clairvoyant abilities and training?
You know, so I've been, so I do sound healing work and I do clairvoyant readings now, and it's been making me really happy.
Oh.
And it's really interesting because when I started doing my training, one of my teachers, I think it was the second weekend I did, she looked at me and she said, "You keep going with this, girl. It's going to make you really happy."
How sweet.
And I remember when she said that to me, and it just was sort of, sort of stick out. And I think she just recognized something. And you know what? It does. I just realized that it makes me really happy. There is something about when you have an ability, whatever it would be, like if I was a really good builder, if I was not building houses or building whatever, I wouldn't be happy. I think we all come in with certain abilities, and many people spend a lot of their lives looking for what that is that they're good at, and it's usually something actually that's kind of natural that you don't think is a big deal, right?
Yes.
But it's made me quite happy, and I've also noticed that it's made me more grounded because I'm using that ability when I do clairvoyant readings with people. And then the rest of the time, I get the time off, and I just get to make soup and, work in my garden and take my dog for a walk. And I don't need to have those abilities so turned on. So it kind of sort of taken care of something that was very active and was trying to kind of yelling at me in a way.
Okay.
And so, and I've seen that happen to other people, by the way. I've seen with the training, I've seen them get really, really happy. It's like, finally, we've addressed this thing that has been around all my life, and given it a form and given it a shape and called it something and given it a path, So
Wonderful.
I know that that's definitely, so going back to why I first went and did the training in the first place, hey, I did it. I healed myself. I got happy. So that's a lot.
Fabulous. And I have to tell you, your joy, your happiness is contagious, because that's how I feel when I'm around you. And,
Thank you.
Thinking about what we've done in the past, just recently preparing for all the courses you're doing, it does feel good. It feels right.
Great.
One last question, Trisha, that I'm sure lots of listeners are curious about. What is it good for them taking this clairvoyant training? How will it serve them?
Well, I did speak about this running energy, understanding boundaries and separations. That's probably the most important benefit that most people get immediately from this. But I do start with methods of reading yourself. We don't read each other right away. We don't read what's called a readee, another person, right away. We read ourselves.
Fascinating.
So in order to read yourself, you have to have neutrality. And I would say something that you get from doing this training is neutrality about yourself.
Fascinating. Thank you so much. I certainly hope this helps people, and we could go on forever talking about this. Go to our website, sunshinecenter.ca, to get more information and to visit us at our next venue at the Ecosphere at the 24th and the 25th of September. We'll have a booth there. Come and visit us, please. Sunshine Center, this is the Alternatives. You've got choices. Your host, Ilya Kavukis. Thank you very much for listening. You can reach us at 450-538-1111. Bye.